Alright, welcome to day 36 of our journey to Platinum here in Elden Ring. At the end of yesterday, I made it up to this pillar, lit this up, so we're going to continue our way through Siofra today. And I'm actually kind of hoping that maybe we'll be able to wrap it up, depending on how long I decide to take this episode. I guess it'll kind of depend, because we've essentially, after looking yesterday, I realized we didn't make it through as much as I thought, but really, it's basically just like this section left, because I don't think I can get to all of this yet. I think that's technically Nokron, and I access that later, if I'm not mistaken. So we might be able to wrap up Siofra today. That would be sweet. It would take a lot less time than I was initially anticipating, because I was thinking, I think at the beginning of yesterday, I mentioned that it very well may take 3 to 4 episodes, but we may be able to do this a lot faster. So I think that everything over here, for the most part, is good. Oh, apparently not. There was still an item sitting there. But on this side of the path, I think we're good. And then I believe I've lit 3 out of 4, or not. I'm sorry, not 3 out of 4. I think I've lit 3 out of 8 of the torches or the fire pillars so far. And pretty soon we're gonna have to actually head into the water. I've been kind of trying to finish everything on land first, and then work my way into the water. I'm just backtracking here a little bit. Yeah, I see some spots where I already grabbed items. I couldn't really remember where I had gone. So we're going to work our way over this way. And look, there's still items. How are there... Oh, wait a second. Oh, no, it couldn't work like that. I was going to say when you leave the game and load back into, some of those come back, but they don't. All of that stuff saves, clearly, because I saw spots that I collected things yesterday and they weren't there anymore. So that theory is out the window. So it's just somehow I'm missing little materials because they're so abundant throughout this landscape of Siofra. It's an abundant land, they say. Lots of materials available for you. And so something before this episode that I like most of the time you wouldn't even necessarily think about, I guess, but I was looking at how much content can be on the screen at once, in terms of, like, let's say I go in here or I go in here. Like, there's always a spot on the screen that's being taken up somehow, and the reason that I mention that is because I keep having to change the position of where my face cam is at on the screen, because for the first, like, whoa, what the, oh, he's up there. For the first, like, 32 episodes, I had my face kind of down in the lower third, but in a spot that I eventually realized was not super helpful, because of the fact that whenever I'm talking to anyone, part of the dialogue is obscured, and I knew that, but I was like, we're not talking to people that often, it's not going to affect the video that much or the gameplay. But then there was one episode where I was in, it was maybe 4 days ago, something like that, and I was in the roundtable hold for probably like 15 minutes just talking to NPCs. So that meant for that entire 15 minutes, part of the captions were obscured. And I don't think it's a huge deal. The game's loud enough you can hear it. But I say all that to say, I keep having to move it, and it's driving me nuts how many things are on the screen. Because even now where I've got it, if I go in here, the only thing you can't see is up in the corner. You've got the compass. And I wish that just nothing would be obscured. But I've seen that that's the problem with most people, is something has to be obscured on the screen by the face cam at any given point if you're using face cam, because there's just the UI and all that takes up so many different areas, and there's so much content to display. So anyway, that's my rant about the screen and trying to get face cam in the right spot. You've got to not do that. These guys, it seems like what I'm noticing with a lot of these is where I am right now with my strength, with my level, with this weapon. For the most part, I can get maybe, it seems like 2 to 3 hits and continue to stagger them. And then eventually, just the buffness of these enemies makes it where it's no longer staggering them anymore. There's a transport gate up here? I wonder... Wait, that doesn't take us to Nokron, does it? I would imagine it takes you somewhere in the underground area, right? I wouldn't think that it would take you somewhere above ground. but I guess it could maybe. So I'm going to come back to that because I don't want everything to respawn. I want to finish exploring the landscape, and then we'll come back to this. But I think this section, or I was going to say this section is done. Still see some materials here. Part of the reason that I'm saving the water for last is because of the orbs, the bubbles. That is not going to exactly be fun. I haven't messed with those in a long time. It's been a long time since I've gone through this area. And from what I remember, they're pretty annoying to deal with. So I've been kind of putting that off. Because from what I remember, I think you have to get really close to them for them to explode or something. And that's like the only way to deal with them. And so that's going to be a little bit annoying. And I remember in my first playthrough, inevitably most of them ended up hitting me. There's one right along the edge here. Let's give it a shot, because I don't think, nope, you can't hit it at all. Oh, they shoot. That's right. They shoot stuff out. They shoot stuff. I forgot. They shoot stuff out before they die. They don't explode. Well, crap. I should have just, at that point, I should have just gone through the transport gate. Dang it. I didn't remember that that's how they worked. Alright, well, everything's respawned now. So, let me, I guess, just run back over there. And I guess this will give me a chance. I was having a hard time remembering everything I went through, so we can run back through real fast. So, everything up there is good. So, we've got, 3 of 8 pillars lit. So, I still have 5 to go. Some simple math there for you, in case you were struggling. And yeah, I went through all this. The whole section up there, that's done too, that bridge. And we can only get to part of the bridge right now. The other half of the bridge, you get to through a whole separate area from what I remember. But I can't remember if that leads to anything specific, as in it might just be the other half of the bridge that you get to, and it doesn't necessarily lead you to another area. It's kind of just you go there, maybe through a transport gate or something. And that actually, maybe that could be where the transport gate leads you. Let's take a look real fast, because I don't remember where ultimately you get to that other side of the bridge from. But I kind of feel like it's a lot later in the game, if I'm not mistaken, because I think that Nokron is not something that we get to. What? Really? So it takes you just to over here. Interesting. So it basically sends you to the end of the area. Oh, wait. There's actually more to go than I thought. I forgot there's a whole other boss over here, isn't there? Maybe we should go fight that right now and get that out of the way. I totally forgot that there's a separate boss different from the massive deer that you fight. Oh, a golden rune 7. Dang, that is lucrative. Alright, so we'll explore all this in a couple of minutes. I want to go fight this boss. I don't think that this boss is super difficult. I remember not having a crazy time with it. There is a stake here, though, so I can respawn right here. And I think he's weak to fire, so let's throw some fire on here real fast. And I've got a couple rune arcs. Now we've kind of gotten to that point in the game. Maybe let's also throw this on. And then we'll ooh, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I really liked using poison when we fought the magma worm. So maybe we'll go with poison. All right. I guess let's do this. And I don't remember if fighting on horseback is useful against him or not. We'll give it a shot though. And hopefully he's susceptible to poison, because that could be super helpful. Because he's big, sometimes I feel like the big enemies are actually somewhat easier to deal with than little enemies, because it's easier to just hang out underneath them. And yeah, being on Torrent may not be helpful here. I've gotten a lot of hits on it. Oh, alright, he is poisoned, so poison does work. Torrent's almost dead though, so I'm gonna heal him real fast. It'll be nice too when I can get better healing for Torrent, because I can only heal him minimally right now. Oh dang, that did a lot of damage. Holy crap. Alright, we're doing good, He's poisoned and everything, taking some decent damage. See, he keeps missing me, so just kind of hanging out underneath him is super helpful. With that, though, I got to remember that that has a lot of splash damage, a lot of AoE damage when he hits that really... does that really heavy hit. Holy crap! Okay, so I need to not be... I need to maybe not be so aggressive. That was probably too aggressive. Because I was just trying to tank it. I got him to like a 4th, though, so that was pretty good for first attempt. Alright. Yeah, I feel good about this. This won't be super difficult. And I was able to get some good damage on him right off the bat there. When he was just standing up. So let's try that again. I'm going to maybe do a wide run around here, though, and grab my runes first. I don't remember how many I had, but it was enough to where I don't want to lose them. If I come up behind him, will I be able to get even more damage off the bat? Oh, crap, I didn't grab my runes. Let me just get a few hits on him first, because that seemed to be super useful. Yeah, see, him just awaking, get a decent amount of damage on him right there. Wait, what? I didn't pick up my runes last time. What was I thinking? I totally, after dying the first time, didn't pick up my runes. I totally... What am I thinking about? That pisses me off a little bit. Because that was totally my fault. Ooh, and I got bleed. Sweet. Ooh. You're not so scary, Dragonskin, are you? That's something to watch out for, is when he, like... He slams down and then he drags his hand. So I think that's part of what damaged me so bad last time, is I stayed under him as he dragged. He's kind of slow, too. Oh, get out, get out. Alright, I'm going to let my stamina build a little bit, because I think that's giving me some problems here, not letting that build. Oh, look at that. You're a... Wow. You were a weak great enemy, my friend. 16k for him and the Dragon Halberd. I don't know how many runes I had, though, before I... Man, I can't believe that. I'm going to have to look back at the footage and see how many runes I had, because that really sucks that because I think I had a decent amount and I lost all those. And what was it? Was it the Dragon Halberd? Yeah. So it's a strength weapon. That does pretty good damage. Pretty heavy, though. And what is its ability? Spinning Slash. Skill favored by dexterous warriors. Slash foes as your body spins. Additional input allows for a follow-up attack. Cool. Alright. So, I'm going to be sad about my runes for a little bit, I think. America's Scar Seal. What does that one do? So that raises... It raises Mind by 3, Intelligence, Faith, and Arcane. But then... increases damage taken. Same as Radagon's Scar Seal, though. So what if I were... Could I have both of these... Ooh, I could have both of these on. How would that make me... I don't understand how that would make me heavy, though. What if I... I haven't even used the bow yet after I put it on the other day. Or I may have just put it on yesterday. That keeps me at medium, so maybe I'll do that. Yeah, Mind, Intelligence, Faith, and Arcane it increases. The only thing I really care about right now is Mind, I guess, being increased, because I feel like Intelligence, Faith, and Arcane is only going to be helpful if I'm using something. Ooh, it also increases Discovery by 3. Let's throw it on, I guess. Oh, that's why it puts me at heavy, because I'm taking off the Arsenal Charm. Okay. Ooh, that does do a good chunk, though. That adds a good chunk of FP. So I think having both of those Scar Seals on is kind of nice. So maybe I'll keep that on for a bit. See if it's really useful for the time being, and I might end up taking it off. Because sometimes I feel like having 2 Scar Seals on at once is not the greatest idea, because then you're using a whole other slot for just extra attribute increases. I did not mean to do that. So it may be best to eventually switch back to the Arsenal Charm, or just to a different talisman altogether. Because having the Blessed Dew talisman on obviously is always something that I really like. Ooh, there's a seed down there, and I think I already have Don't I already have 2 other seeds? I do. Sweet. So I can upgrade my flasks once I head down there. But I guess there's a lot of stuff that I skipped over, obviously, since I used that transport gate. So maybe what we'll do is kind of now work our way from back to front. So let's do this. Let's actually hop down. I don't know if I can get back up from down here. And am I able to... Is that a... I don't think down there is a section I can even get to right now. Oh yeah, and that does probably lead you back up, maybe. All right, well, let's hop down. We can come work our way through all of this in just a little bit. And I will, I'll finish all this stuff first, because since we're all the way over here... Excuse me. My goodness. My allergies are not the greatest again. I mowed the lawn yesterday. So, sometimes right after I mow the lawn, my allergies start messing with me again. Because I really should probably wear a mask when I mow so I don't just breathe in all of the grass. Yeah, but what I was saying is, now that it's pushed us all the way over kind of towards the end of the area, we might as well work our way backwards now, rather than going back to where I was and working my way through. And I feel like there might be an item. Is there an item over here? I feel like why else would you be able to come over here, right? I'm just going to check it out just to see. There is an item. Ooh, a stone sword key. I've got a decent amount of stone sword keys right now, which is good, so I don't really have to worry too much about when I hit the next imp seal. I've definitely got a decent amount of keys on me right now. That's also why I tend to, when I find a merchant or an NPC or anything that sells stone sword keys, I try to purchase them just that way I don't ever hit a spot where I don't have one, because I feel like then if I don't have one at the time, I sort of run the risk then of forgetting that the imp seal's there and having to just remember to come back, and I know that there will inevitably be times where I don't come back. So if I just have an abundance of them on me at any given time, it can sort of help curb that potential risk. But I haven't done that as much in this playthrough, because I noticed in my first playthrough, I was buying every single stone sword key that I saw, and I ended the game with probably... It was probably like 15 extra stone sword keys that I didn't even have any use for. There was nothing else that I needed to open, as far as I knew at the time. So, I feel like sometimes you don't really need all of them. There's definitely more in the game than you need. And what is this? Oh, does this lead to a whole other thing? This area is so much bigger than I remember, I feel like. Unless this is a dead end. Ooh, a rune arc. Okay, so I think this is a dead end. And we're right near, so technically... I can't remember if this is part of Nokron. I think that there's like a whole section up here that you can get to, from what I'm... Or maybe at least this initial section here. Because I think I think right above us might be where the dual gargoyle boss fight is at. I think. Again, that's a later thing. I don't even think I can get to that right now, but I'm pretty sure that the gargoyle boss is up there. Which is another boss fight that I am not a fan of, because I struggle so much when it's two bosses. My brain just cannot split well enough. I can't multitask well enough to deal with two things at once a lot of times. But at the same time, my confidence with a dual boss fight has increased a bit after I fought the dual Erdtree Burial Watchdogs a couple of episodes ago. That definitely increased my confidence, because I was able to figure out how to split my attention a little better than normal. I felt like I was able to get through that boss fight a lot quicker than I'm used to. I think, though, probably the worst dual boss fight in the game is the two Godskin nobles. You've got the big fat one that blows himself up and then just rolls around, and then you've got the skinny one that flings dark magic and stuff at you, or dark sorceries and incantations at you. I think that's to me, the most difficult dual boss fight in the game. And that's way away from where we're at right now. That's literally endgame stuff. But I remember struggling pretty hardcore with that boss. Oh, hi there. Big rat hanging out. Didn't see you at first, my friend. This is creepy. The way that these guys over here are just kind of stomping, like some sort of weird ritual. Oh, I got two of them at once. Look at that. Yeah, it's kind of creepy, and I don't know. They haven't noticed me yet, so they're very distracted by their stomping ritual. How quickly will they? Okay, so if I stand right behind him, he will notice me. The other guy hasn't noticed me yet, though. And there's the fourth pillar to light here, so as soon as I take care of both these guys, I'll light it. Man, and just think about all those runes that I lost by just not paying attention and not going and picking up my last ones. It's so sad. Always makes me sad. Even though sometimes I've been thinking a couple times recently that I don't feel like, for a little bit, just for right now, I don't feel that losing runes is affecting me all that much. And the reason I say that is because we're kind of at the point where I've leveled up above really probably where I should be at this point in the game. I mean, for here, I'm a little below the level that you're supposed to be at for going through Siofra. But it's not really impacting me all that much, clearly. Like, I don't really feel like it's hurting boss fights or anything, especially with that Dragonskin, or yeah, the Dragonskin guy that we just fought. So it doesn't seem to be hurting things much. So once we get into Liurnia, because as soon as we finish this, we're going to head into Liurnia, and for that, I'm definitely over-leveled right now by probably 10 levels. So that's why I'm kind of feeling like losing runes right now isn't hurting me drastically, because of the fact that I'm a bit over-leveled. I've obviously been exploring everything super obsessively, and that definitely helps with always making sure that you're leveling consistently. That's one of the reasons I like to be so thorough with an area, is because you potentially never really hit a spot where you're under-leveled if you're consistently collecting everything, killing every last enemy, popping all the different golden runes that you find in the environment. So I think I'm in decent shape. That's me trying to make myself feel better about losing all of those, I guess. Because even though I didn't look at it before I died, I have a feeling I had to have somewhere around 15k or something. Oh, shoot. Alright, I'm going to run past a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to go kill this guy with the bow. Oh, man, he just kind of, like, hits you no matter where. Oh, there's two of them? Crap, I can't. Dang it. Okay, let's deal with this one real fast. The other one, oh, he doesn't know about me right now. That's good. Alright, let's go deal with the other one. I think there's only two here. Man, they've got some aimbot going on. Crap. It's nice, though, that once you get near them, they put away their bow. It makes life a little easier. Okay, so let me run up here. I think this is the end. Is this the very end of the area right here? I kind of think that it is. Clarifying Horn Charm. Oh, and there's actually an imp seal up there. Alright, what does the Clarifying Horn Charm do? Raises focus. Focus governs resistance to sleep and madness. Said to be a budding horn, the ancestral followers believe that the horns of a long-lived beast continue to bud like antlers over and over again until the beast one day becomes an ancestral spirit. So that'll be useful at some point. Right now, that's not super useful for me. Alright, so let's utilize that. So I guess that then activates this lift. These are kind of creepy. Alright, let me see where this takes me real fast, I guess. Because I clearly don't remember this area very well at all. Oh, it takes me up? So then... will this take me to... I don't know. I'm kind of just looking for where the area ends right now. I could have sworn from what I remembered that we basically hit an end and there's no way to get to the rest of it until later, until finding another river well. But I'm sort of second guessing that theory right now, I guess. Because of the fact... Oh, so this leads into another one of the wells in Caelid. Gotcha. Okay, so that makes sense. I totally remember this now. That actually makes a lot of sense. Okay. All right, so then I'm not going to... I've only got 3 flasks. I think I'm going to risk not resting right now because I don't want the bow guys to respawn. So this down here will lead me through this whole section here, which leads over to where the Colosseum is at, where that massive jar is hanging out. Okay. All right, so we'll come back to this later and kind of explore all that, but at least that's technically the end of the area then. So now I can really work my way backwards through everything that I skipped over. So technically then you come from... So that's where you initially go down in the river well. Or no, I'm sorry. Over here is where you initially go down in the river well, because that's Siofra river well, and then this is Deep Siofra well. I'm trying to see... Oh yeah, so that makes sense, because there's the first grace, then over here is the grace inside of Caelid. Cool. Alright, I've worked it out. I figured out what's going on. Took me a little bit of time, but I feel good. I feel good now about my hold on the area, my understanding of the area. And let's explore around here real fast. I love the design of this though. How this is like the bottom of the well as it drops you down into Siofra. That's pretty cool. So let's explore around this real fast. And then work our way over towards the middle again. And I think that boss that we fought, I think that's the only, if I'm not mistaken, and I've been mistaken already multiple times in this area, but if I'm not mistaken, that is the only other boss besides the main ancestral follower spirit that we fight once we've lit all the pillars. So there shouldn't be too much else crazy big and difficult to deal with here. Oh, there's a grace there too. I guess I should have known that because we're kind of, yeah, we're way far out from where the last grace is that I grabbed. All right, let me check over on this other side. It's nice that since this is an underground area similar to how a catacomb would be. I mean, even though they're not classified the same, catacombs and, well, yeah, specifically catacombs are kind of similar to these underground river wells. So you get the, what are they again? The things for upgrading your spirit ashes. Oh yeah, your ghost glove ward. So you get those down here too. This is a whole nother spot to continue collecting those. Even though I've talked before about how even with all of the ghost glove wart that I'm grabbing, I'm not ever going to have any need for them because of the fact that we're not even utilizing any sort of spirit ashes. And I think since I'm behind everything, I'm just going to go ahead and rest, let it respawn, and I can come up behind the archers and kill them. I'm going to level real fast though, because I should have, ooh yeah, I've got a decent amount of stuff. So that gives 2,500, and I only need, I need a little over 1,000. I need like 1,100 right now. So that's 2,000, 1,600, 1200. Perfect. Let's use that one. Grab a level real fast, and I can also upgrade my flask. So let me do that quickly. So let's see, add charge. Sweet. So then now I still need 3. So I need 3 to be able to level that again. I still don't have another sacred tier. I haven't found one of those in a while. Oh yeah, and I also wanted to allocate real fast. So it means we got 9 in total. Maybe I'll go 6 and 3, because I have been noticing in certain instances I don't have enough FP for all of the FP usage that I've been partaking in. Lots of FP usage being partaken in right now. So I think especially for darker areas and areas with maybe a large boss, I think having the extra FP will be useful, because in darker areas I've been utilizing Starlight, so I'm using a good chunk of my FP right there since I continue to cast it in dark areas. And then I'm using incantations and sorceries and stuff, so definitely makes it where having a bit more FP is useful. That's it for you, my friend. I didn't even level up. I feel like I'm not focused today. I don't know what's going on with me. So Vigor I think might be at a good spot for now. Let's dump some into Mind, because that'll also help me with my FP usage. Having a few extra attribute points into Mind for the time being, I think would be good. And I know that in my first playthrough, I ended up having to be reborn. I ended up reallocating all of my attributes towards the end of the game, because the way that I leveled, I got to the end, and I was struggling with things like Melania. So I'm trying to kind of avoid that this time. I'm leveling a bit better this time, since I know what we're headed towards, and since I kind of know the issues that I had last time. But I still have a feeling that I might get to a point in the game where I go, alright, like I don't necessarily have levels here and here. I need extra attribute points in this for this area, so I might end up having to go to Renala, which we haven't even gotten to yet. But I might end up having to go to Renala at some point and be reborn and just reallocate. But I'm kind of trying to avoid that. That was another thing, though, is with how thoroughly I go through the game. Ooh, that's the first time I've got Formic Rock. I think. Yeah, with how detailed I go through the game, usually that's another thing I have a ton of at the end. Is the wait, I have one right now, don't I? What are they called? The larval tears. Yeah, I think that was another thing. I had probably 16 of them at the end of my first playthrough. And I was only ever reborn once or twice. So I end up with a lot of those too, which is nice. You stop hopping around? Knowing that they spawn up on the rock, it's hard to, specifically on Torrent, it's hard to get to them. You've got to stop with the shoulder hits, my friend. You're not in the NFL. So chill out with that. Yeah, but I feel like my mind is just not with it right now. The fact that I didn't pick up my runes, the fact that I straight up walked away without leveling after I just said that's what I was gonna do. I think since I'm always very transparent in these videos. Obviously, a huge part of this is for entertainment. But I also am just very honest about what I'm thinking and feeling at the time of recording. And today, like last night and into today, I don't know. I just have not been in a great mental headspace again. And so I think starting this video, I kind of went in. Ooh, he's charging up. He's growling. I kind of went into this episode not feeling great mentally, and sometimes that can unfortunately impact a video, because if I'm not in a great headspace even though I'm focused on making the video, there's that little bit of me that's just like, all right, just sort of forget everything that you're thinking about for the time being. Focus on the video, because obviously I don't want the video to in any way be a downer. I want it to be enjoyable and fun and entertaining. But at the same time, I always feel like I need to be sort of honest at the same time about the fact that sometimes I'm not in a good headspace. And that's how it was starting this episode. So excuse any lapses in judgment as my brain is just sort of distracted right now. And as I've talked about before, hopefully the reason that I share that as I make these videos is because I know that's the case for a lot of us. Is there's plenty of days when you kind of wake up and you're just like, I'm not in a great headspace, and you just do what you got to do anyway. That's kind of life. And so that's what I do with these videos. Is even if I'm not in a great spot mentally, I'm gonna record. Videos got to go up. And I love making these, so it actually helps me mentally too. And hopefully helps other people at the same time. That's always one of my main goals, as I've stated before, is that these will help other people. So, all right, so everything, I've explored all this pretty thoroughly, all the way up to the lift. And then all of this over here is what leads over to that area where I initially dropped down. And I've got all my flasks back, so I'm not going to, I don't even need to kill this. I don't need to actually kill that right now, the scarab. All right, so now I can work my way down this way. Man, that scarab had a death wish. He dropped right in front of me. Even though I clearly stated, you know what? If you've got a death wish, I'll just kill you anyway. If you just really, really want it that badly. All right, so yeah, this is where I haven't been yet. There's a lot of rats down here. That one spot, while I was pouring my heart out about my mental health today, there were a lot of rats that spawned back there in that other area. And it seems like I keep noticing, it seems like I'm not even seeing the rats at first, because I probably, back there a little ways over there, killed 7 or 8 rats. It felt like they just kept spawning, and I didn't, at first I thought there were only 2 of them. But I was wrong. Sorry to interrupt your stomping ritual, but you're in my way. I need your items. Wait, so... Oh, and that's... So I know up here is Knockground, so that's... I guess... Oh, that might be where... I think that's where the Lord of Blood is at, where Moog is, maybe. If I'm remembering correctly. Because even with... And that makes me realize that even with the underground areas, you can kind of see parts of the underground areas from another part. I don't think that's the case with all of them, though. I feel like one of the underground areas you get to, you can't really see from anywhere else. It's sort of secluded. It's like its own section of the world. Even though you can, there's sort of connecting points, but I don't know that you can just see it as you're walking through the environment, if I'm remembering correctly. But there's lots of misremembering on my part going on today, so that could also be a misremembrance. Okay, so then we've got... Wait, so is that... That's the other transport gate, so I think that would then take me back to where... Will that take me back to where the other one was? I'm assuming, maybe? Because it didn't drop me there initially. It didn't drop me right on it, but I'm assuming that that'll just take me back. So, oh yeah, and I already... This I already explored. So, I'd like to take that transport gate, just to be sure. Just for the sake of thoroughness, but I think that it'll probably just take me back to where I was before, when I lost all the runes. I'm not letting that go. Hello there. I don't want him... I don't think he'll walk off the edge. Yeah, they hit the edge and don't go off. That's good. You're gonna have to stop rolling, though. What you got for me? Astrovore square off. Let's see what that one is. Square off. There it is. Square off. This skill starts with a sword held level. Follow up with a normal attack to slash upwards through an enemy's guard, or a strong attack to perform a running thrust. Usable on straight swords. So I don't think that that would be usable on my katana then, because this isn't... I mean, just looking at it, it's curved. So I don't think that necessarily fits within the category of straight sword. It's a gay sword. That's what katanas are. They're gay swords. They like other katanas, I guess. All right. He's just... I thought he saw me, but even when I'm standing right in front of him, he keeps going with his stomping ritual. Yeah, see, that attack, it seems like you can't stun. Once they charge up that slap, that backhanded slap, it seems like there's nothing you can really do to stop that. Okay, so this is that transport gate. So like I said, we'll come back to that shortly. And all of this is good. I kind of like this open field here. I don't know why, it just looks kind of pretty. The way that you can see Nokron up above. That looks so cool. Yeah, that looks really neat. And that's one of the things that I'm talking about, how you can see another part of the underground area from a different underground area. The fact that I can't really get to Nokron right now, but I can see it. And it's something that I'll get to later. And I'm having a lot of fun going through the underground area because, like I said, like I've mentioned multiple times before, I think the cool thing about the wells and everything underground throughout Elden Ring is the fact that it feels like an entirely different game when you're down here. So it's kind of cool, kind of a different feel to the game. You've got a sliver of health. I could spit at you, you'd be gone. All right, man. There's a lot of items around here. Gold rune 4. And then I'm just checking behind the trees. Got to make sure that nothing's missed here. And so what I'm curious about here is if I need to utilize that other transport gate to get back, or if as we progress through here, if I'll just get back over there. If all of the land's connected. That's another thing that I'm not totally sure about. So I guess we'll know shortly here. Just trying to see if there's any other items and materials hidden amongst the rocks. Oh yeah, so this will lead me right back into where we were. Perfect, because this is where we get back over to where the water is. So that means that I think I'm almost done then with exploring all of the land, and then we'll actually be able to go into the water and hopefully, potentially this time, not get killed by the shooty orbs, because I do not want to do that again. And I think being on torrent around the shooty orbs is probably my best bet, because then I can just run. I can basically run circles around them while they're just spewing things off. And so I guess I'm going to try that once we get into the water. I was mentioning too a little bit ago the fact that my allergies have been coming back a bit since I mowed the lawn yesterday because of all the grass. And so a lot of times when I mow, I'll just bag all of the grass clippings and then just stick them in a bag, stick them by the road. But yesterday I ended up not doing that just because it takes longer. I just didn't have time. I was mowing before company was coming over, and so I just needed to and we were going to be in the backyard. We did a fire and smoked some cigars and stuff. And so I was like, all right, I want the grass to not be a forest before we come back here. So I had to do it really fast. So I didn't bag the clippings. And part of the problem is not only does that mean that it's flying more in the air and bothers my allergies, but also I always notice with Charles, since there's extra grass clippings, when he goes outside to go to the bathroom or to play in the backyard or whatever, then he walks inside, and today I had grass all over my kitchen floor. Ooh, here's another one of these. I almost passed this. I had grass all over the kitchen floor, and part of it was because when company was over last night, we were walking in and out, grabbing food and stuff, but with Charles and his paws. He gets stuck between his toes and stuff, and then he walks in, and he sleeps in the bed with me. So then I get grass clippings in the bed, and so I need to give myself more time to mow so that I actually get the grass clippings bagged and don't have to deal with that. You know, the crab's mouth, I've never just sat and watched it eat. The crab's mouth is weird. You've got a weird mouth, my friend. Oh yeah, and then there's this whole thing too. I forgot about this. So I need to go up there too. But then do I technically... Do we hit a dead end on the land over here? What is that noise? Oh, there's these guys. Man, down here... Okay, yeah, so we're not going to be finishing up this episode. We're not going to be finishing this area today. Potentially tomorrow, but there's definitely more than I remembered down here. I was thinking, for some reason, I guess just looking at the map, I was like, oh yeah. I sat down to record today, and I was like, oh yeah, we might be able to wrap this up today. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. I don't... Oh, there's a couple of them here. Is he... I think I kind of triggered him. I think he might see me, so I'm just going to... No, he didn't see me. I'm just going to walk away, finish up this part of the land, and we'll also explore these structures along this bridge. What am I stuck on here? Yeah, we'll explore all this around here, and then we'll go up into the bridge. I can take the stairs there, but one thing at a time. I want to finish this land first. Let's also deal with this crab. Ha! Oh, the crabs are actually, they're stronger down here. I knew they would be, but that's a good bit stronger. Can I get... There we go. I think that last hit, I got bleed on him. Figured I might get a little faster than that. Yeah, the stuff down here definitely, like I said, I'm a bit underleveled for this area. Nothing crazy. I think I'm underleveled by maybe like five attribute points or so. And so it feels like it's just enough to where some of the stuff down here is a little bit tricky, but it's nothing crazy. I still feel like it's kind of the perfect difficulty. And I think too that it's at times kind of fun being in an area a little bit underleveled anyway. Not necessarily in your first playthrough. It's better to be at the right level in the first playthrough, or else you end up just getting pissed at the area because you're dying over and over. But I feel like if you've already played through it before, sometimes being a bit underleveled is kind of fun because it adds that challenge for things that maybe you already know how to deal with, and just adds to the level of challenge. Because the crabs definitely... Oh, shoot. Yeah, oh, man, I was afraid that was going to happen. Yeah, they hit hard. That's like 2 hits. I know my health was down, but with how much damage he does, I think with that claw smash, I think that can kill me in 2. So I need to be a little more cautious, I think, around the crabs and give them the respect they deserve. And I'm just going to sprint past all of this. I'm hoping that I don't have issues with the bows. If I can get myself, yeah, I can just kind of hide behind some of this stuff and I should be okay. Whew, okay. I didn't even hear them fire anything. Because those guys, the guys with the bows, I have learned today are no joke. For sure. Let's, while I'm here, let me take this real fast. And then we can just spawn back at the Grace, I guess. Because I just want to see if this takes me to where I think it's going to take me. Back to where we initially... Oh, okay, so it takes you back to... Wow, there's a lot of transport gates around here. It takes you back here, then. So then, will this take me to that one? Because I'm not understanding how these link up necessarily. I guess. Okay, so then this... Yeah, okay, so those two are connected. And then the first one that I took... Didn't it drop me... It dropped me up there. Okay, alright. And there's not necessarily a transport gate up there that it's connected to, from what I remember. I don't think there was another one. So that's kind of like a one-way gate, and then that one's a two-way. Okay. So, Mr. Crab, I'm going to quietly come up on you this time. And just do a pop like that real fast. Crap, crap. Ooh, I'm glad I dodged that. That would have hurt a lot. Come on, there you go. All right. Yeah, in Limgrave, those are pretty much, I think I can kill those in sometimes 2 hits. But here it's like 7 or 8, even with bleed. So the crabs in Cyalfra are no joke. Just for future note for all of us. Ooh, here we go. This is a cool spot for a grace right underneath this. I like that. Okay, so then where is this at then? So we've got the Below the Well, Worshipper's Woods, Cyalfra Riverbank. I feel like there might be another one somewhere in the middle here, but I don't know. That may be the last grace down here. I'm not totally sure. And I'm glad that, yeah, I'm glad that I decided to do the land first, or else I would have missed that. And I've still got, I think, what, we've probably got 3 pillars left to light, I would think. Somewhere around there. So I gotta find those too. But since I haven't gone through the water, I'm assuming most of them are probably in the water. Is my guess right now. And then, so we've still got all that to do. All this, like, scaffolding there. And then over there is, I think right over there is right about where I stopped land-wise when I took the transport gates. I think we're almost done here with the land. So maybe what we'll wrap up the land, and then next episode, then we'll head into the water. And next episode might be where we're able to tomorrow actually finish off the area. There's some orbs here. Ooh, and that's one of the towers, one of the monuments, and I need to light. But there's a couple of those orbs there. So I'm gonna go kill these guys first. But yeah, I think that tomorrow we should probably be able to then head into the water. That should kind of wrap things up. And then we'll have everything lit, and we'll be able to actually do the main boss of the area. Oh, you're gonna smack me. Get out of there. Come on, move. Dang, I'm getting stuck between the trees. Thank you very much for your runes and your item. He's gonna smack me again. Man, that is a strong punch you have there, sir, friend of mine. More dwelling arrows. I'm picking up a decent amount of dwelling arrows from them. Not that right now I even have the equipment level to be able to carry a bow. I probably should. That's something. Maybe that's a reason why I should level up. I think it's strength that affects your carrying ability, your equipment load, I think. So maybe I should level up strength a bit more soon just to increase my equipment load a bit. Because I do feel like I'm sort of hitting a spot where, like, if I were to find heavier armor, I can't really wear it right now. So this... Oh, so I hadn't come up here yet. So Smithing Stone... Ooh, nice. Smithing Stone 3. I need that to be able to upgrade the katana. So I very much need those. And we'll get a lot more of those in Liurnia, though. So that's good. Because I want to level this again. Okay, and then that one's lit. Yeah, so we're almost back to where I was. I just hadn't come up here yet, I guess. So this is done. And then let me explore some of this surrounding stuff that I know I haven't gone through yet. And I guess... Ooh. There's another guy hanging out here. Yeah, you can pretty much stagger with everything except for that punch. I don't know why. I mean, he definitely works out, that's for sure. He's got some biceps. So that's probably why you can't really stagger that when he goes for his slap, his backhanded slap. You know, it's kind of silly though, with all the work he does on his biceps, you would assume that he'd punch instead of just give you a backhanded slap. Alright, so let me just run past this. Yeah, that's definitely the best way to deal with that. Where's this? Wasn't there... Oh, no, they both... Okay, good. That dealt with both of them. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, so being on torrent's the best way to deal with that. Just do a mad dash around it. But if you don't do a mad dash, you are screwed, as I have found out. Alright, so this one's lit, so that should be 6 of 8. So I guess maybe there's only 2 in the water then. I'm gonna kill the turtles real fast. And that one, that orb there, he seems like he's kind of patrolling. He was almost all the way over here, so I need to be cautious while I'm on this edge here, that he doesn't sneak up on me. Oh, there's one there too. Alright, I'm gonna just promptly walk away from him. Yeah, didn't he patrol all the way over here? Seems like that one travels far. So I need to be cautious. I need to be cool. Cool, cautious, calm, and collected. And look at all these dew-kissed herba around here. Alright, so that's the edge of the water. So I think on that side, I'm probably good. Excuse me. Goodness. You'd think Torrent could just stomp on the faces of the elk, or whatever they are, and just walk past them, but his hooves are not strong enough for that, clearly. Kind of testing how close you can get to those before they start flipping out. Oh yeah, okay, so then this right here, I'm gonna kill this guy since he's a bow, and just that way I don't have to deal with him while I'm walking around here. Okay, so then we're pretty much back to where I was. I'm just gonna check this area right here, make sure there was nothing that I missed. I think we're probably good. Along this edge, I don't know that I checked everything though, and I guess I can kind of check some of this edge though when I'm in the water. Yeah, and then this path, okay, this path is what leads all the way up to that other one. That other pillar that we lit. And then I'm not really, since I've already kind of walked through here and grabbed all of the herba and stuff, I'm not concerned about that, but I am just curious if there's any other items right here that I've missed. Oh, you also have a bow. I'm going to kill you real fast so that you don't pull that back out while I'm walking around here. Whew. Yeah, if you do that fast enough, you can kill them before they backhand you. But if you're not fast enough, you are going to be slapped by some major biceps. All right, then this just comes back. All right, so I'm circling at this point. I'm basically just walking in circles. So, all right, so that should be good. Up here is where that one item was, and yeah, so this leads back to everything I've been through. Sweet. Okay, so I think that we can call this good. And I guess let's head over towards the water. We're kind of at the end of the episode here, so I just want to find a good stopping point. I guess that I kind of want to maybe let's go back, I guess, to the Grace. Let's go back to the Grace at the beginning of the area, and we'll stop there, because then I can kind of work my way through the area from the start now that I've kind of worked my way backwards through the land. Then I can work my way forwards through the water towards the back of the area. And there's still items throughout the water. And then what have we got? We've only got one pillar left to go. Okay. So I've got 7 of those already. Sweet. So there's only one pillar that's actually down in the water then that I need to grab. Cool. All right, so that's going to wrap us for today. Tomorrow, then, we will work our way through this middle section. And let me rest so that I can actually look at my map, because I just want to quickly look at everything that has been explored. So, back here is where we came from. So then all of this here leading up, or kind of like this river here leading up, is good. This stuff back here is good. And then we kind of did this stuff where that boss was, and then all of this land should be set, and so is this. So then we'll work our way through the actual river area tomorrow, and then head up and fight the boss. So that's going to do it for today. So thank you so much for checking out this episode. If you enjoyed it, I would highly appreciate it if you would leave a like, maybe a comment, and also subscribe. That's a hard word, but a subscription would be highly appreciated. So thank you so much for checking out this episode, and I will talk to you tomorrow.